This will be a relatively short flight, taking off from the grounds of Beach Cottage, where we're there for a week. I'm using the Air2S and the original DJI Smart Controller, so I'm not bothered with wires and screens. And I intend to fly up the coast towards Broadsea Bay, which the tip of the rocks that's sticking out to sea up front, it's further on than that. I'm not going to go all the way there because I need to, it's just a short flight, a single battery. As we fly over the beach and the coastline, it just shows how rugged it is to the side, and up onto the top and up the plateau on the top there. It's about 200 or 300 yards away there's a farm, and of course there's sheep and cattle and so on. But in the early morning along this coastline and right past Beach Cottage, depending on how early it is, we see deer, we see rabbits, we see lots of wildlife. One of the few problems we've got flying around this area are birds of prey and large seagulls. When the drone sets off, in the past I've had two buzzards come after it, and they go to attack it and they take it straight out the sky, of course. But this time so far I've just had a few seagulls, and they were just inquisitive. They were up above and just looking down and circling round, and then they continued on the way. I did learn in the past that if the drone's attacked by buzzards or any bird of prey, don't attempt to fly down, but immediately throw the stick back and shoot up above it, because it'll take a while for the bird of prey, and then flick it to speed mode and head straight back. Otherwise you're going to lose the drone. Now, looking at these little coves and crannies within the rocks, of course you've got to be careful when you're walking on the beach, because the tide does go well out, but you can get trapped. But these coves, I mean, you get seals, particularly up Broadsea Bay where we're heading now. I just want to fly over this this rock that's stuck out to sea, just to look towards the big bay, and that's Broadsea Bay. As you can see, the farmland is beginning to show. It's pretty wild, but lovely green farmland the further you go inland. In the distance there, that's Broadsea Bay. Yeah, it's quite a wide bay, so I think more or less I've come far enough. So I'll just go a little further, then I'll start to turn round and fly back. Signal's still very good. Yes, I can see the flat sand or rock down there. The signal's still very good. I've still got a 100% signal. So I'm about to turn round now, and you can view the farmland as it stretches back. So I'll just turn around and just fly over this ground a little bit. I've still more or less got a very good signal, because I'm down in the bay, as you'll see when we get back, and it is line of sight to keep a good signal. What happens if I lose the signal, the drone stops for 11 seconds, sees if it reconnects, and if it doesn't, it then goes into a return to home mode that I've set, which makes me feel a lot more comfortable. Oh yes, the coastline's beautiful and rugged. I'm about 30 foot, 40 foot up, and these little coves and so on, you could pitch a tent in there and nobody'd ever know you were there. I can see now where because there's no existing pathways to it, and of course that's why the seals will come in and stay there, which during the winter will be the time, I should imagine. Now I'm stood in front in the bay, where I'm now heading to land, and the signal is perfect. Using the Dji app, where I set these waypoints and which route to take and so on, and what actions to take. This one, it's just videoing all the time. But I'm coming now to where I'm stood near the fence, and I've got the landing pad there. It now knows it's coming to the last waypoint where it'll just pause, and then it'll start to jockey into position using GPS over where it took off. I can see the blue circle at the bottom of the screen there. Now it's stopped, it's trying to connect itself, it's done that. It'll now go a little bit to make sure it doesn't hit any obstacles in front, and then it'll move over to where the actual landing pad is, at which point it will then flick the camera down and look and focus on the landing pad like that. Now it's alongside a fence, so but it has obstacle avoidance on it, so as it's coming down now, what I'm seeing in the controller are the crosshairs, diagonals, and I'm looking at the pad. It looks like there's not too much wind. It's buffeting the drone about, but it's the camera's staying still. I better move back unless I want a haircut. And then it will then get down to the pad, stop between 4 and 8 feet above it, protect the camera by putting the camera back up, and then lower itself, land and switch the rotors off. And that was a very nice, peaceful flight.